Yo, what's up everybody, it's AI TechThink, and we're diving deep into the world of silicon today. AI chips, they're the hottest thing since, well, the last chip shortage. Nvidia's killing it, TSMC's printing money, everyone's building data centers like there's no tomorrow. But here's the thing, is all this AI hype putting the entire chip industry at risk? Have they gone all in on one hand, hoping the AI boom never ends? We're talking tariffs, trade wars, and the possibility of a tech bubble 2.0, because if there's one thing we've learned in tech, it's that what goes up must come down. And when it comes to chips, that down can be a long, hard fall. Let's get into it. Alright, so, first things first. Let's talk about why everyone's so hyped about AI chips in the first place. I mean, we're talking record profits, stock prices going through the roof, the whole 9 yards. TSMC, the biggest chipmaker on the planet, just dropped their first quarter guidance, and it's basically a love letter to AI. They're saying AI chip revenue is going to double this year alone, and they're predicting a 45% annual growth rate for years to come. That's insane. And then there's Nvidia. Remember when they were just the graphics card company? Yeah, those days are long gone. Their H100 series, specifically designed for AI, has become the go-to chip for anything and everything AI related. We're talking large language models, image generation, you name it. And the stock market has noticed. Nvidia's stock price has tripled in less than 2 years. Every major player in the tech space, Meta, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, they're all pouring hundreds of billions of dollars into building out their AI infrastructure. Data centers are popping up left and right, and they all need one thing, AI chips. But here's the question, is this growth sustainable? Are we looking at a fundamental shift in the tech landscape, or is this just another hype cycle that's going to leave a lot of companies holding the bag when the music stops? So, just when you thought the AI party couldn't get any wilder, things get a little complicated. Enter stage left geopolitics. Yeah, it turns out even the world of chips isn't immune to the drama of international relations. We're talking trade wars, tariffs, and enough tension to power a data center. The biggest elephant in the room, the ongoing tech rivalry between the US and China. The White House has already banned certain high-end Nvidia chips from being sold to China, citing national security concerns. And it's not just talk. The Trump administration had previously hinted at slapping tariffs of anywhere between 25% to 100% on semiconductor equipment. China, naturally, wasn't going to take that lying down and responded with their own set of levies. The result? A whole lot of uncertainty. Nobody, and I mean nobody, knows what the final trade rules are going to look like. TSMC's CEO, C.C. Wei, has said they haven't seen any major panic buying or order cancellations yet, but let's be real, the threat is there. When you're talking about investing billions in building out AI infrastructure, the last thing you want is a trade war throwing a wrench in your plans. Okay, so we've got geopolitical tensions simmering in the background, but what about the companies actually making these AI chips possible? Well, there's one name you need to know, ASML. They're the company behind these absolutely massive machines called lithography systems. Basically, the tools that print the insanely tiny features on modern chips. Without ASML, there's no AI boom period. And recently, ASML sent out a bit of a warning signal. Their first quarter orders came in lower than analysts were expecting. Now they're still saying AI is the main driver of growth, but they also admitted that the uncertainty in the market, especially around tariffs, is making some customers hesitate. This doesn't mean the AI party is over, but it does show that even the companies at the heart of the boom aren't immune to the jitters. The question is, will this be a blip on the radar, or is it a sign of things to come? So we've got trade wars, tariffs, and even ASML sounding a note of caution. You'd think that would make the tech giants pumping billions into AI think twice, right? Well, not so fast. The big four, Meta, Alphabet, Google's parent company, Microsoft, Amazon, they're not hitting the brakes. If anything, they're flooring it. Amazon's CEO, Andy Jassy, has already announced a whopping $100 billion earmarked for capital spending this year, and you can bet a good chunk of that is going straight to AI. Google's Sundar Pichai isn't backing down either, reaffirming their commitment to spending $75 billion. And it's not just about the money. These companies are building entire divisions dedicated to AI research and development. They're all in no matter what, but on the other hand it also raises the stakes. What happens if global growth slows down? What if ad revenue, a major source of income for companies like Google and Meta, takes a hit? Suddenly those massive investments in AI start to look a lot riskier. Here's the thing. While AI chips are having their moment in the sun, the rest of the chip market is looking decidedly less sunny. Remember when everyone was buying new phones, laptops, and gaming consoles like crazy? Yeah, those days are over. Smartphone shipments are projected to grow by a measly 2.3% this year. PCs, barely budging at 3.7%. Even electric vehicles, which were supposed to be the next big thing for the auto industry, and by extension the chip makers supplying them, haven't quite lived up to the hype. And don't even get me started on the Internet of Things, IoT, and industrial chips. The point is, during the pandemic, chip demand was coming from everywhere. But now, it's pretty much just AI keeping the lights on. And that brings us to the heart of the issue: diversification, or rather, the lack thereof. The chip industry is basically putting all its eggs in one basket, the AI basket. And while that basket is looking pretty good right now, what happens if it drops? Think about it. If Meta decides to scale back its data center build-outs, or if the next recession hits and companies start slashing their IT budgets, the demand for AI chips could dry up pretty quickly. And if that happens, the chip makers who went all in on AI are going to be left with a lot of expensive, specialized equipment and not a lot of buyers. That's why some experts are sounding the alarm. They're saying the chip industry needs to diversify, just like it did back in 2020 when demand was coming from all sectors. And that's a risky bet. Don't just take my word for it, though. Let's hear what the analysts are saying. Brian Chin from Stifel put it pretty bluntly: we don't know how buyers will behave when prices spike. And he's right. Right now, everyone's willing to pay a premium for AI chips because demand is so high. But what happens when that demand cools off? Will companies still be willing to shell out top dollar? IDC, a market research firm, is predicting that smartphone growth will be a measly 2.3%. That's hardly the kind of number that gets chip makers excited. If one piece of the puzzle falls, the whole thing could come crashing down. So, the million-dollar question is, can chip companies pivot away from their heavy reliance on AI and diversify into other markets? The short answer is, it's possible, but it won't be easy. Think about it. Retooling a fabrication facility to produce a different type of chip is a massive undertaking. It takes time, it takes money, and it takes a whole lot of expertise. But the opportunities are there. The automotive industry is clamoring for chips to power everything from electric vehicles to advanced driver assistance systems, or ADAS. The Internet of Things is still in its early stages, and there's a lot of potential for growth in areas like smart homes and industrial automation. Even the medical device industry is becoming increasingly reliant on specialized chips. The challenge is that chip makers have to be strategic. They need to identify the markets with the most long-term potential and invest accordingly. So, here's the bottom line. The chip industry is in a fascinating and potentially precarious position. On the one hand, the AI boom is real, and it's driving incredible growth and innovation. But on the other hand, putting all your eggs in one basket, no matter how shiny that basket is, always carries risk. The big question is, will AI be the silver bullet that keeps the chip industry thriving for years to come? Or will tariffs, trade wars, and a potential economic slowdown burst the AI bubble and leave chip makers scrambling to diversify? I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think. A. AI will carry the day, and the chip industry is set for years of growth. B. Diversification is coming, and chip makers will find success in other markets. So, yeah, the chip game is wild right now. It's kind of like watching someone bet it all on black at the roulette table. The potential payout is huge, but so is the risk. And right now, it feels like the entire tech world is holding its breath, waiting to see where the ball lands. What's clear is that the decisions being made today, by chip makers, tech giants, and even governments, are going to have a ripple effect for years to come. The future of everything from smartphones to self-driving cars to, well, artificial intelligence itself, hinges on how this all plays out. Please subscribe to the channel for more, and as always, thanks for watching.